Goeiedag, mijn naam is Evan, ik ben migratieprocureur hier in Amerika en ik wil je helpen om immigratiewet te verstaan. Now this is a quick update on the government shutdown and the implications of the shutdown on the Afrikaner Refugee Program in South Africa. So as I'm making this video, today is October 8th. We are still currently in a government shutdown. Now, when the shutdown first occurred, there were lots of questions as to how the program would be impacted and whether USCIS would continue with interviews, whether all the contractors would continue to do their work, and there was some speculation. Now, the short answer is it looks like every organization, as I said, USCIS is fee-funded, so they're insulated from a budget crisis, and it looks like all of the contractors doing the initial screenings and interviews have already had their budgets dispersed, so they're not impacted by it. So it looks like all of the wheels are still turning with the selection process, the medicals, the background investigations, USCIS interviews, your initial screenings. All of that looks like it is continuing to go on as it has always gone on since the program was started. However, what does seem to be impacted are the flights out of South Africa for refugees who have been approved. And that could be for a multitude of reasons, but of course that is all tied to the fact that the budget has not been passed. And there are so many moving wheels in this process that at some point some group would be affected, and whether this is the cost of buying the plane ticket or the ground crew that needs to be there to in-process you when you get into the United States, or all these different things, regardless, from what I have seen on social media and from what many of you have been telling me, those of you who have been scheduled to fly out, it looks like that is not happening. If that is not true, leave a comment. Let's alleviate all of our fears. This channel exists for really two purposes: to help Afrikaner refugees and also to help, on my end, to help educate Americans about the persecution and pending genocide, if not in full force genocide, as I've said, that is going on in South Africa against Afrikaners, other people of white European descent, and other ethnic minorities. So you see, I have really those two lines of videos, and thank you for supporting all of them. Again, if you're not a channel member, consider becoming one, because that really supports the work that I do here, but your views alone I can't be grateful enough for the promotion that y'all have given this channel. But that being said, post your comments, post your stories if you're willing, of course. If you're not, don't expose yourself. But if you have gotten a flight out since the beginning of the government shutdown, let people know. Let's help each other out here. But for the most part, what I've seen is that everything is still proceeding as normal except for the flights out of South Africa. So what that means is you have to plan accordingly, because this budget shutdown could end today. It could take 30 some odd days. In the past, this has gone on for over a month. In the past, this has ended in a day or two. So we don't know. And if you went and watched my previous video where I explained to you that one man, one vote is the end of any political organization, you'll see that this is what I'm talking about here in the United States. Because no longer is, and again, it doesn't matter where you stand politically. I believe I said in one video that I'm a libertarian. You know, that's my political party. That's where I stand. So not even one of the major two political parties. But whether you're on the right or the left, it doesn't really matter. We've gotten to that point where it is now just elected officials are afraid to do anything other than give the people what they want because they want to be reelected. So that's demagoguery. That's what's happened. Now you see the right and the left are both stuck in their positions of appeasing the people who voted for them, as opposed to maybe making a decision that is best for the country as a whole and not being afraid of the electorate. But again, the electorate here in the United States, and that's why I said go watch my last video, nothing about my talks about the government of South Africa is racist. It is simply talking about giving the power to vote to an emotionally charged and angry mass of people who are uneducated in the way that governments are supposed to work, and the repercussions of electing a demagogue or just electing someone who's going to be what you want. That leads to destructions of political systems, and that's, you know, to prove that my point wasn't racist, you can look and see that happening here in the United States, one of the largest multicultural societies in the world. So you'll see that we're stuck. We're butting heads because the parties are not going to necessarily do what is in the best interest of the country, but is what their constituents, the electorate, believes in the electorate's best interest in the short term rather than the long term. But I'm digressing. I'm leaving the point of this video. Forgive me. But again, the point is just to say that it looks like the flights are the problem right now, and we don't know how long this will continue. So plan accordingly. Many of you have sold everything, have gotten rid of everything, we're waiting for this flight, and now that's a problem because you have nothing to go back to. Unfortunately, I don't have an answer for that. I sympathize with it, and I can't imagine how difficult that must be, but the government shutdown will end at some point, so keep that in mind. So again, if you're in the last stages, if you're waiting on flights, know the flights may not be coming till the shutdown ends. Be prepared for that. Find a plan B in the interim. See if there's someone you could stay with. See if there's other people in the refugee program who are at different stages of it who might be willing to help you out. Get in contact with each other. Help each other. But again, this will end. And as we've seen, the good side of this, or the bright side of this, is that the program is continuing full force. It seems like the only issue here is the flights out, but that will be resolved once the budget has been passed. So as always, remember to like, subscribe, share, and I'll see you for the next video.